Hey, thanks for joining me today on Home Values with Brent. I want to talk a little bit about the trends on the non-financial benefits of home ownership. And with the coronavirus and everything that's been happening with that, even riots, there's a lot of things, decisions that people are making today, and I think it's important. And I think we've seen some trends through time. So first of all, before I go into that, why do I call it Home Values with Brent? Well, there's really three reasons. It could be financial. It could be equity, helping you to create wealth for your home. But it's also bringing value to you, helping you in your decision making in the selling or the buying of a home. And then also, I've seen such a breakdown in family through the years. I want to see home values come back. It's not just a financial purchase. There's so much more that goes into it. So today's message I'm really excited about. So we need to examine motivations with the coronavirus kicking. Let me give you Concentric's analytics survey looked at the non-financial benefits of homeownership, and there's three statistics that I thought were pretty strong. One is 93% said owning a home made them happier. So this is a huge decision why people choose buying a home. Two, 88% agreed that buying a home is the best decision they've ever made. So that decision was really crucial to somebody, and they see it after they've purchased it. 79% believed owning a home has changed them for the better. So owning homes is really important to people, and those are some of the non-financial, right? It's not just about money. You remember, you're buying a home, you're buying into a neighborhood, you're buying into a community and people around you, and then also like there's a grocery store across the street, there's a gas station over here, there's all these businesses right around me that I can get to. So there's a lot that goes into it. Your school system, all of these. I mean, that's a huge thing for families, is buying where there's a public school nearby and that it has good scores. So when we look at the first point I want to make, a key component is to know the motivation of the consumers. This will give an idea of the trends. And so right now we're keeping an eye out with that because of what's going on with the coronavirus. Now, Redfin reports, this is back in June, that home buyer demand is 25% above pre-pandemic levels. So that's pretty high. Buyers haven't batted an eyelash with everything going on with the coronavirus and also with the riots going on. And then we see also many renters in the city are buying affordable outlying areas, and that we see this going on. So people may be moving into suburbs or into the rural areas. So this is an increase in home ownership levels, an increase for the first time in 15 years. So we're seeing a change in that. So that's interesting. Now, here's a question I have. Are we going to see a trend in renters moving out of the city, or just homeowners, people who own properties in the cities? Are they going to move out too? Are we going to see a trend in this? So we need to keep an eye on this. We're going to look at suburbs. We're going to look at the rural areas. This is key. So stuff going on. We're going to look at the trends of people. Now, do you think the coronavirus will influence the way people look at home ownership? Has it changed your view since the coronavirus? Are you thinking about making a different decision now? Because I know there's people talking, and I've been hearing stuff. And what I see just in driving around in Charlotte, we don't see as many people driving on the streets. It's increased a little bit more than, say, a month ago, but there's still a lot of people working from homes. And you might have two parents working at home, right? And they have their kids there because they're not going to, what happens if they don't go back to school in fall? So a lot of people are like, we both have to work and we have kids at home. It's going to change the dynamic of some things, right? And many companies aren't going to make a decision until potentially January. So about working, coming back and working at the office, we could see a trend in just people working at home in general. So we gotta look at that, and especially with another spike in the coronavirus going on. So let's see what happens. So our homes are changing. They may become more of a workplace, right? And how about a schoolhouse or homeschooling, right? That we're going to look at some of those statistics too as well. And then houses of refuge, right? So with everything going on, everything's getting more intense. People are concerned for their kids, right? So that could also play a part in this as well. So let's take a look at another question. Is your home set up for working there, right? Do you have a space for work in your home? I think those are questions we got to ask. What about with your kids? I mean, is somebody coming in to help watch them? I mean, what do you do with those situations? So some people may want to get a bigger home. And I saw a trend of some downsizing. You might see a little trend of some upsizing again, right? Especially if people have to work at home. Now, you may also see, because it's so hard to take care of the kids, one person works and another stays home to watch over the kids. And this could also move people farther out, right, where it's less inexpensive for a home. So we have to look at that as well, too. Now, let's take a look at this whole concept of homeschooling, because that has changed over the last 20 years, and it seems like with each year it's increasing more like that. Business Insider reports back in 2018, September, the U.S. was once a leader for education. We were like one of the top ones back, I think, back in the 60s. Now we're ranked 27th. So that's a huge drop off. And of course, everybody will say, oh, we need more money, we need more money. But it's funny, I talk with teachers all the time, and they'll tell me, man, the discipline, the kids are all over the place. It's hard to teach today. So classrooms are more out of control because, honestly, home lives are more out of control than ever. It's just a lot of things are going on. There's a lot of reasons for it. So I think we're seeing a rise in homeschooling. And in the state of North Carolina, data.census.gov reports with kids ages 5 to 17 back in 2017 to 18, there were 1,692,633 kids going to public schools. Now, when it came to homeschooling back in that same 2016-2017 was 127,847, and then in 2017 to 18 it was 131,295. That was an increase of 3,448. Are we going to see even more increase in those areas? We're going to have to keep an eye on those trends, because if it becomes homeschooling is important, then a home really is very important, right? So when we look at motivation, the U.S. Department of Education back in February of 2014, stats of why people were moving away from non-public education. This was some of the reasons. 91% said school environment. 77% said moral instruction. 74% said dissatisfaction with academic instruction. 64% said religious instruction. So we see a trend in that. And look, I've been around a lot of homeschoolers. They're motivated students, and a lot of parents do a great job in teaching their kids. So there are different options out there. So we just got to keep an eye on these trends of what's going on. We'll work on getting that back. But hey, guys, thanks for watching today. If there's anything I can do to serve you, anything I can help you out, please get in touch with me. Let me know, and I'd love to be able to serve you in that way. Hey, I'm Brent Kenyock, and you've been watching Home Values with Brent.